what are some of the best games on Game Pass that you should play, especially if you're new? What are some of the big hits? What are some of the hidden gems, Lord?
Hidden gems, mine that I just feel like is right off the bat, that is just a mellow, great, feel-good RPG is Ni no Kuni. And that is just a nice little JRPG. It has some Pokemon elements for all you monster hunters out there. Lots of fun dungeons to crawl through. I feel like it's just kind of like a touching story. It like feels kind of mature too, even though it has like a cartoony type of feel. But I just love this game. I'm always ready to pick it up and put some time into it. It's just very accessible, and I love when just like an RPG, especially, you can just like pick up at any time. So this is the type of game that is an easy first recommendation for me.
Mine is not a hidden gem at all. My first choice is Starfield, and let me tell you why it is. Because I feel like Starfield was one of the very first of the major like AAA games with Game Pass, where they were like, day and date, you're going to be able to play this game right off. Now, I don't think it actually was. It just feels like to me it was the first one. And I've gone through Starfield a couple times. I definitely have problems with it, but I do think it is a genuinely fantastic game that you should play, because there's a lot of that role-playing Skyrim-esque Bethesda element to it. With, I love being able to steal from people. I love being able to go into people's homes. There's the sci-fi nature of it. There's a lot of fun here. I still haven't done the DLC, and I'm looking forward to trying it again. That's my suggestion. I know, Dan, it's fine. Shake your head as much as you want. It's okay.
Look, I can't help it if you obviously love loading screens, but I don't care for loading screens, and that's why this game sucks. So
I think for Game Pass, it's a game. So I gotta give it one only. It's a game, all right. It's a game that you can try out for Game Pass.
I think both of you have terrible opinions.
All right, so I have a big game that I picked, and I have a small game that I picked. For my small game, it's more of an indie one. I've mentioned it before, I know, but it's a really cute indie game that's kind of flew under a lot of people's radar, and it's called SteamWorld Dig 2. And this is part of a larger franchise, so you might have heard of SteamWorld Build and SteamWorld whatever, but I don't know, those are like, whatever. But SteamWorld Dig 2 is where it's really at, because you get to be a miner that goes down and you find, like, of course, resources, and then you upgrade, but then there are dungeons in there, and you go and you dungeony things, and you got resources and you upgrade. You come back and you go further down the mine, and it's a cute 2D side scroller, and it really scratches that itch when you need something that's like a fun, small, like indie game, and it's really well done.
My second one, it just came out, and this is a no-brainer download for me. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. This is a remake of the 360 game. Great game. I absolutely love this one. I feel like the graphics got such a beautiful overhaul. Some people were complaining about performance, but I didn't really notice too big of an issue. Just the combat is super fun. It's one of those old school feels where you're just doing a lot of cool button combos, and a lot of the attacks look super fluid and awesome. And I feel like everything has a good hit to it. So there's a lot of satisfying kills and finishers. This one for Game Pass, I think it's a go-to download. If you're new, it could be definitely one of your first like action adventure games that is worth picking up.
My second one's one that I have talked about often on the show, and it is Deathloop. If you haven't tried Deathloop, it is incredibly, incredibly fun. It's all about time. It's all about discovering when people are going to be at what spot through different time periods during the day. So much. The story is really great. The gameplay is really solid. I love using the powers. And then the whole point of the game is to figure out how to deal with time in such a way that you can make multiple assassinations throughout a day, kind of in a Groundhog Day-esque sort of situation. It is just really fun, and I highly recommend it if you haven't got a chance to play. And I feel like that's a game that I may not have purchased had it not been on Game Pass, but because it was on Game Pass, I gave it a shot and really fell in love with it.
Well, my second pick would be the old OG Xbox launch title that just kind of, died because Xbox One did, and that's Sunset Overdrive. It's originally made by Insomniac before they were purchased by Sony, and it's one of their best games ever. If you haven't tried it, the graphics still hold up today. It's fantastic. You're a character that has like aliens invade the world, and you've got to get, you traverse through the world by rail sliding, and you slide on different poles and different electrical lines and fences, and you get combos while you're sliding if you're shooting at the same time, and it's got really wacky weapons, and it's got a really great sense of humor, and you get all sorts of collectibles and upgrades. It's a fantastic game that should not be overlooked. It was criminal that it was overlooked. It's truly a fun game, very unique, very original, should be checked out if you ever get Game Pass day one. That's what I say. Well, that pretty much wraps up everything we've got for this week. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening on a podcast, please tell your mom and 3 other people. And on behalf of Matthew Maulding, Matt Lord, and myself, Dan Whitehill, thanks for joining us. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.